So Tropical Smoothie just wrapped up 2024 with a whopping 161 new store openings and 13 straight years of same-store sales growth. Same-store sales growth means that if you have a location, that location keeps growing its sales year after year after year. So on average, their system had 13 years of straight growth. That's incredible. But the question for you is, hey, is Tropical Smoothie a good franchise to buy? It's actually a common question I've gotten. People love to ask about Tropical Smoothie for whatever reason. I know what reason. But is it worth it? How much does it cost to open? Is it saturated? Are there too many of them out there? Well, we are going to answer those questions in today's video. If you're new here, my name is Tarek Johnson. I am the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, where we have helped hundreds of individuals find, vet, and launch proven money-making franchises. And in these videos, we break down the franchises that are listed on the Entrepreneur Top Franchise 500 list, and we break down all the numbers. So we're going to talk about how much they cost to open, what are the sales, how many units they do actually have open. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's talk a little bit about Tropical Smoothie. So the first Tropical Smoothie opened in Destin, Florida. Well, that is pretty far from where I am, but I'm in Florida. Florida's awesome, reppin'. In 1997, selling real fruit smoothies on the Panhandle. I don't know if they're real fruit anymore. You know, it's like loaded with sugar, many of the smoothies. They're not actually as healthy as people think, many of the smoothies. I used to own a smoothie franchise, not Tropical Smoothie. We had some healthier ones, but there was a bunch where like the base was like apple juice, or it was some sort of juice that was made from concentrate and then scoops of like sherbet or frozen yogurt. There's so much sugar in there, and some people think it's healthy. Again, there are healthier ones, but most of the time they're actually not that healthy. Probably better than eating like a double cheeseburger, but if you're like, ooh, I ate a smoothie, drink a smoothie, and I feel energized. Yeah, it's because you just drank 90 grams of sugar. That's why you feel energized. Anyways, they were founded by Eric and Delora Jenrich and David Walker, and they aim to bring healthy, tropical vibe to a fast, casual dining. Here's what's interesting, actually, is the first time I really got seriously exposed to the idea of opening a franchise was from walking in a Tropical Smoothie. I was 20 years old, working at the bank. I had my first job at the bank, and across the street from the bank was a Tropical Smoothie, and we'd go in there and I'd get lunch many days of the week. And there was this young kid, and it was like, he was the owner. He looked like a kid. He was like, probably in his mid-20s, late 20s, maybe early 30s. And he was the owner, and he'd come in with like a suit and tie. I guess he was in government contracting as his day job. But it was like, what? He owns this? How does he own it? And he looks so young, and that's crazy. And it planted the seed at that point in time of, ooh, what if one day I could own a franchise? That would be really cool. Fast forward 8 years, and I wind up owning a juice and smoothie franchise. Now, the first franchise for Tropical Smoothie opened only 1 year later in 1998 in Tallahassee, kicking off the beginning of their brand expansion. Now, supported almost entirely by franchisees, there's only one corporate store that remains with Tropical Smoothie. And you'll find that with a lot of franchisors. Being in the business of recruiting franchisees and supporting franchisees is completely different than being in the business of running corporate locations. They're two different businesses. So originally a smoothie bar, they started selling sandwiches and wraps by 1999, moving into a full fast casual model. They're now roughly about 60% drink to food. So 60% drinks and beverages, 40% food, making their revenue streams more balanced. And in 2020, a group called Levine Capital Partners took the reins, and in April 2024, Blackstone acquired the franchise system in a nearly $2 billion deal. That is incredible. Congrats to those people who went out there and started this, and in 30 years built a multi-billion-dollar company. That's just fantastic. They've got a total amount of locations of 1,515 locations in operation. And again, we talked about only one corporate-owned location. All right, so trivia time. Do you know what special holiday that Tropical Smoothie created where you can get a free smoothie? Let me know in the comments below. We'll give you the answer at the end of the video. video. Let's talk some of the numbers. Let's talk startup costs first, and we'll talk about average sales. In terms of startup costs, they range from $340,000 to $814,000 to get up and open. That includes a franchise fee of $35,000 and grand opening marketing contribution of $10,000. Now, let me just say this. If you're opening up a franchise, you're like, why do I have to spend $10,000 on my marketing grand opening? Don't think like that. 10 years ago now, I did that. Opening up our stores, like you have to spend $7,500 on your grand opening. And here I was trying to figure out how to spend less. It was like, well, can I do this and this to make this cheaper and spend less? And it's like, guys, it's an investment. Like entrepreneurs think about marketing and the marketing cost as a way to then get an investment on those dollars and get more people to see your brand. So don't be short-sighted and don't step over dollars to pick up pennies, okay? So if a franchisee chooses to sign a multi-unit development, then it's only a $25,000 franchise fee for the second, and each additional unit must be paid to the franchisor. In terms of ongoing fees, they have a 6% royalty, a 5 to 6% national marketing fee. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I have no interest in opening up a food location or opening up a Tropical Smoothie for almost $800,000, a little bit out of my price range or comfort zone, or you just know from watching our content and videos that food franchises have very low profit margins, and you're interested in something with a higher profit margin, then I made a free gift for you. It's our PDF called the 5 low-cost franchises that all make $1 million. And it's exactly what the title explains it to be. So you can grab that for free. Click the link below and you'll be able to grab the 5 low-cost franchises that make $1 million. Go grab it before we take it down. All right, in terms of sales and earnings, in 2024, the average net revenue for all 1,268 locations that they disclose in their franchise disclosure document, it was about $1 million, basically just over $1 million in average net revenue. The top 25% of the locations average $1.4 million in sales. Top 10% hit an average of $1.7 million, with the highest location doing $2.6 million in sales. So if we think about that from a sales to investment ratio, which is an important metric that we talk about a lot here, you want to see 2 to 1 or better for brick and mortar. Well, we add up 340 plus 800,000, we're at a little bit over 1.1 million. So average cost to get open of about 550,000 with average revenue of $1 million. You're close to 2 to 1. I mean, that's probably like 1.8 to 1, but it's not too far off. And if somehow you wind up being in the top 25% and doing around $1.4 million in sales, then you're at a good point from the sales to investment ratio. But what a lot of people don't know, and this is not any sort of specific reference to how much money you can make with this franchise, in general, most people know food franchises have a very low cost profit margin. Something I didn't know before buying into my first food franchise, but the profit margins generally are quite low. And it's like, do you want to be in that business? I know it's going to sound like I'm talking smack against the food business right now, but do you want to be in the business where you're hiring a bunch of young kids who often call out or constantly trying to switch schedules? Gosh, when I delegated not doing the schedule anymore and had my manager deal with that and handle all the requests to change shifts, it made my life so much easier because it drove me crazy. Just, it's going to happen all the time. So do you want to work with those type of people? I don't know. That's a question for you. All right, the answer to the trivia. So when are they giving out the free smoothies? You guessed National Flip Flop Day, then you're right, because that's the holiday that they created to give away free smoothies, obviously to go along with their whole tropical vibe. Super interesting. I don't even know what day National Flip Flop Day is. Hold on. All right, so in case you were wondering, it is May 28th. I'm recording this on June 13th. We just missed it. I just missed out on getting my free 60 grams of sugar. Anyways, if you enjoy these type of videos where we break down the most popular franchises on the Franchise Entrepreneur 500 list, and we talk about their sales, their startup costs, and all the things that you need to know about that franchise, then here is a playlist where you can watch a whole bunch of these video breakdowns that we have done. Make sure to subscribe before you go so that you can see all the videos that we put up, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.